whose name is in the title of the studio, Flammarion. I honestly thought that this was a... Flammarion! Flammarion herself actually has quite an extensive resume and has been working in the animation industry for quite some time. The Smurfs, Tiny Toons, She-Ra, and she currently works as a background painter on Pen Zero, Part-Time Hero. I tried to find more info about their inspiration for the Christmas tree, but I couldn't find anything. From the looks of it, the movie was a side project that went horribly wrong, and I can only imagine that she isn't too proud of it and wants to cover her tracks. I mean, it would be a shame if future employers found out that Flammarion Ferrari is responsible for this film.
I just want you to know that this wasn't my idea, Mr. Mayor.
So let's just jump right into this. I know I usually do a little rundown, but I want to go into this blind. That way it's more shocking to you all. So we start off with an intro that rolls out the movie credits. After that, we have a soulless narrator giving us a rundown about the movie. We're then told by the narrator that this is an orphanage, and the lady in charge, Miss Mathilda, is super evil and is cruel to the children who live there.
But after he left the donation collected by the townspeople for the orphanage, Mrs. Mathilda immediately to take off the child's clothes.
The intro goes on for a bit longer, but I'm going to skip it. It's pretty repetitive, and it's just going to tell what's about to happen anyway. I mean, they straight up use footage later on in the film.
She used all that donated money in an irresponsible way. Mrs. Mathilda, as usual, uses the money for her personal pleasure.
Okay, so we actually start off with this family called the Kendalls. They just arrived in town and are looking for work. So what do? Why do they go to the mayor, of course?
The mayor also said that he would arrange for the man's wife and children to stay at the orphanage. They could get a week before.
So the shotgun parents are given jobs by the mayor. The father gets to work at the lumber mill, and the mother gets to work at the orphanage. And for some reason, the family has to worry about the orphanage.
Oh, you.
Really? That was the best take. This guy sounds like Microsoft Sam. Miss Mathilda then just goes off on the mother, and she just stands there taking it. Stand up for yourself. How does a lady off? The words fuck off. So for some reason, the kids of these two are forced to share a room with the orphans. We think of this really awkward scene where the new kids lock eyes with the orphans and start making these unsettling faces to one another. We then hit a cornerstone of the movie. That's the voice acting. It's battle around with the adults, but the kids are a completely different level. Just listen. We're then introduced to the thing that carries the title of the movie, though they give it a different name than the actual film. Oh Lord, save me from these child voice actors. When done right, kid voice actors can be a lot of fun.
Clever idea! Spider-Man's making this because I do cares too much. Schoolwork, Smite. Change my diaper.
But then you got this.
I wish I could read her story.
Wait, hold on a second. You have glasses, but you can't read. Well, that must have been an interesting eye exam. A little bit over the line. Usually the first line. So Miss Hopewell is the traitor, and the kids, for some reason, believe that she has magical powers that she'll give their parents a home someday. We then meet some strange dog who comes out of the orphanage.
We should have it. I knew we should never jump into the path. The dog always be.
So the mom decides to play with carpentry skills to work and builds a playground for the kids with a tree. Don't get me wrong, This is impressive. But the last thing I want to slide down is a wooden slide. Enjoy your splinters, kids. So all of the orphans are getting along with the mom. Even the mayor is impressed. But why does he have to pull his car up to the orphanage like some kind of stalker?
They really are getting along.
And I love this part. The kids and the mom are sleeping under the tree, but the movie decides to include a laughing sound effect, which doesn't make any sense.
It really developed a special really developed a special
And the mayor drops off money every so often for the orphans. And I'm not talking about a check. He brings actual bags of coins, which is very inconvenient.
Little did we know that the money was destined to pursuits other than the lives of children.
So here's something that's kind of creepy. Mrs. Mavilda dresses the kids up in order to fool the mayor, to make the guy think that she's doing a good job. In reality, she keeps the money and she uses it for gambling.
There goes the children's money again.
Wow,
You
you are human garbage. The mayor then shows up again to give Christmas money for the kids. And then he just stands there talking for like a minute with his stupid robot voice.
I can't.
12 seconds later.
I just gave Mrs. Mavilda the money there so she can buy new clothes for the children.
2 hours later.
I've been noticing that the children are very positive.
Mom then tells the kids about the good news and how they're going to get some Christmas gifts this year.
That way I can get some Christmas stockings to hang on the fireplace.
Okay, so the kid voice acting is bad, but this pitched up voice is not helping. And you want to know how bad these kids have it? They don't even know what Christmas is. They don't know about stockings or Santa or, get this, Christmas trees.
Go out and buy the Christmas tree.
Christmas tree? What's that?
It's a f***ing stupid movie. But for the third time in the movie, Mavilda's gambling away the kids' money.
That's right, Mavilda. Now you're cooking with gas.
Good Lord, these wiping transitions.
Well, Helen dear,
What do you think, Mavilda?
Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay. Yeah, she's cheating.
I'm for the hangover.
Intentional or not, that was pretty funny. So Miss Mavilda calls up Judy and proceeds to have a stroke.
You don't want the mayor to see them without new clothes. How can you dare to? Oh, right! Now you know. Now you go get those.
This lady can change her emotions on a dime. So the kids are told that they're not getting any Christmas presents. I love this scene in particular because Judy's body just keeps moving, but her eyes stay still. It's very unsettling.
You have new clothes we promised you? Well, I'm afraid you're not going to forget them.
So get this, Miss Mavilda is upset that Judy knows so much about her schemes and decides to get rid of her. And how does she go about doing this? By framing her.
I want you to place something valuable in her purse while she's in your house picking up a package. That shouldn't be too difficult for you with your fast fingers, should it, Val? Fast fingers.
So the kids find out that Mavilda is trying to get rid of Miss Judy. Mavilda's lower body actually overhears the kids talking about this, and she goes to confront them.
There's nothing we can do to stop that mean witch.
So, that's what you think of me.
Oh man, what a beautiful animation error. So far, the animation in the movie has been pretty static. But then it just hits us with this terrifying face out of nowhere.
It's already told you. I'm cutting her down for firewood.
Why did they make this change to Mavilda? It doesn't make any sense. So the kids come up with a plan to get help. From who you ask? From freaking Santa Claus.
To get out of Santa Claus. What do you mean?
Oh, these kids are terrible. There's no emotion in their voices. It's all the same.
Why me? Because right now we're in the house where your papa is.
So it turns out that Judy wasn't able to get the package and drove back to the orphanage. At the same time, her kids are riding on a sleigh up to the North Pole, which, is totally plausible.
Who said it? You? Me, Pappy?
My buddy said that these kids sound like they're drunk, and I really couldn't agree more.
I couldn't let my brother come around. I guess you're right. It's better being with someone when it's a long way.
Fortunately, a bear shows up, and the kids run for their lives. Well, the girl does. The boy is literally frozen in place, and his hair doesn't even move. Just look at it.
He can love my father. Like, what?
So the little girl dies, and the boy is all on his own. He even finds out that her children are missing, and he takes the news pretty well.
You what?
Matilda then freaks out on Judy because her kids are missing. Like, this lady is more upset about the missing children than the actual mom.
The mayor finds out about this, I'm really in trouble. He's gonna blame me and I'm gonna lose my job.
So Matilda, out of pure spite, calls her friend up to come and chop down the tree because she just straight up hates the orphans.
You still have that electric chainsaw. These children are gonna have their best Christmas present yet.
Judy has a moment where she stares into the night sky and hears the disembodied cries of her children. It's actually really funny.
Mommy! Mommy!
Look, you got 5 of them you can pick right. You know what? Never mind. Those kids are defective. But there's no more time for staring. The tree's about to be chopped down, and Judy jumps into action.
What do you think you're doing? Nobody cuts Mrs. Hopewell until we talk to the mayor.
The mayor's.
Matilda really doesn't give a damn. She tells the guy to just come at the kids with a chain. So, thank God the mayor shows up to stop them.
What is the meaning of this?
Oh, Mr. Mayor, we're so glad to see you. You couldn't come at a better time.
The boy also shows up, tells his mom that his sister is missing.
But where's Lily? Where is she?
She's gone, Mommy.
Oh, God, what do you mean? Ray.
Comes from the mayor's.
So the cat is out of the bag, and the town finds out that Matilda is a piece of human garbage. How she is pocketing the money and wants to cut down the tree.
You have a lot to explain to me. You better be there.
Mr. Mayor, tell her not to cut us so well.
Miss Matilda then freaks out and starts to threaten people with an actual chainsaw.
Oh, no!
What happened? By the way, this is Fred Doctor.
We then get a continuity error, as the little girl, who is missing, shows up randomly, but then disappears again, only to reappear after Santa arrives. Oh yeah, Santa arrives. The tree gets a makeover, and we get one of the creepiest Santa faces I
oh, baby.
Oh, no, I'm so glad to see you. I miss all of you, Mommy.
Santa then takes off, but not before using his magic to instantly upgrade the clothes on the children. It's so sudden that it's hilarious. We then get another continuity error as the father forgets how to count.
Because you're busy helping to raise 9 children.
9 children? Ray, we only have 2 children.
You're all fucking stupid! And then the dumbest thing in the movie happens. This lady who has eaten, stolen, and threatened children with a chainsaw is instantly forgiven. And that's it. Miss Matilda gets away with the crimes, and everybody's cool with it.
Will you come with us? Let's have a good Merry Christmas.
And that's the movie. in all of its terrifying glory. Merry f***ing Christmas. Alright, so let's go to my 5 points. First, the story. The person who wrote this was Nels Christensen. And guess what? This is the only thing we ever worked on. What a shocker.
Oh.
The film itself has such
I
a
know
long
if I
story
can
that
do all.
falls back on Christmas tropes. Oh no, the poor children are the orphans born having a president. The thing would actually care if the characters were interesting, but they're not. Every single one of them is boring. The parents, the children, even the villain, they're all boring. Well, except for this one. Such exceptional acting. You were one of the movies, weren't you? Oh, you sound proud. Next, the editing. Repetitive. There are so many moments that are reused in this movie. You know, I get it. Animation is not cheap, and sometimes you have to reuse assets and scenes to save money. But the way they do this here is incredibly obvious. This movie also suffers from very poor transitions that typically cut off the lines of other characters. You let one person talking, and then suddenly jump to another. After that, we have the dialogue. Like I already said, the characters have their lines cut off all the time. In tandem with the editing and voice acting, we are left with character dialogue that can barely hold your attention. Also, some of the characters talk for very long amounts of time, and the camera just stays on them. The voice acting. I really thought that Joshua and Palestine had the best voice acting in an animated movie. But guys, the Christmas tree takes that title. These orphans with Joshua voice actors sound like he's a professional. I mean, at least he shows emotions every now and then.
Santa and
The voice acting goes from monotone voices to high pitch, and none of them carry any emotion. Like, give me a reason to care about this movie, about these characters. Make me feel bad about this father who's down on his luck and has to rub his fingers to the bone. That context should provide some emotion, right? Right? Oh, come on. Also, there's a lot of voice cracks and room errors in the movie.
I hereby proclaim this tree
One final item, the animation. Oh boy, was this a rough one. Now, to be fair, I have seen worse. I truly have. And some of you know that. How did I do this to myself? But this movie is far from perfect. The character designs are some of the worst I've ever seen. The children have these big, red eyes. Usually, big eyes equate pretty emotion to your characters, but that's not happening here. If anything, it's the opposite. Also, what's with the weird lines on their mouth? I don't like this. It makes them look old.
what are we gonna do, Captain?
The colors are bland and boring too. I mean, it's Christmas. There should be green and red and stark differences with the winter snow. But we don't get that. Instead, we get brown, gray, and blech. It just doesn't work.
On your right, the next
At the end of the day, I see this movie as a Christmas cash grab. Think about it. If you can get your movie to become a holiday tradition, then you'll have people watching it every single year. And that's a lucrative audience to have. But it turns out that the Christmas tree didn't have what it takes to break into that market. Thank God for that. But there's some irony to this. They might have missed the mark of being one of the greats of Christmas, but I can say with 100% confidence that they are absolutely one of the worst. Speaking of which, we got 3 more of these Christmas crap reviews to go. Lucky me. I'll see you all next week.
guitar. I don't have any hand. Oh, you're right. Well, okay. Well, you play this. I want to play that. Okay. Oh, come on. That'll be fun. Nope. Not gonna do it. It's for the kids. Oh, okay. They better not laugh. All right. Better get on out there.
A few months ago, I got nostalgic for things, VeggieTales, and it got me to thinking, whatever happened to it? You know, VeggieTales, that Christian cartoon with the CG vegetables, who would reenact stories from the Bible. Well, I looked into it. What I discovered was one of the most disastrous failures of a studio in animation history. Folks, have I got a story for you. I thought that VeggieTales fell in popularity because they removed God from the reboots. Something about NBC and Netflix downplaying the religious stuff. And that's why VeggieTales failed, right? Oh, guys. Oh, there is so much more to it than that. On one hand, you have a show that was truly groundbreaking on multiple levels. VeggieTales was the most successful Christian children's franchise of all time. And was also the most successful direct-to-video series in history. There was even a time when it was one of the most popular kids video series in the world. And was only second to Pokemon. I guess that she was a little too strong. On top of that, VeggieTales was also a trailblazer when it came to the world of animation. It was one of the earliest computer animated franchises. Their first episode came out in December of 1993, 2 years before Toy Story. I mean, we're talking about a show that was so popular that even non-Christian people would happily watch it. Believe me when I say, that's incredibly rare. More often than not, secular audiences don't really partake in Christian content. I mean, to which I can't imagine why. It's so good. Don't you want to watch Bible Man? What's that? But despite the accomplishments of VeggieTales, it also suffered some devastating defeats. Again, I thought that removing God from the series was the only thing that ruined it. No, let me get the list. There was poor management, massive layoffs, failed spin-offs, unfair distribution deals, creating a movie that cost twice its original budget, bankruptcy, lawsuits, and ultimately, broken dreams. And whose dreams were these? Well, that would be Phil Vischer, the creator of Big Idea Entertainment and VeggieTales. This guy was taken for a ride. For an absolute ride. And essentially had his creation ripped from his arms. Seriously, I have never felt more pain for a person in the animation industry than Phil. But Phil is very open about his downfall. And even wrote a book about it. It's called Leave Yourself Involved. A book that was so informative, good, that I read it twice. No joke. This is the hardest I've ever gone researching a topic. I mean, I grew up in VeggieTales, and it means a lot to me. I rewatched the episodes, listened to the soundtrack. I got to interview Phil. I strictly ate meat for the past 5 months just to be safe. And I even bought these puppets and the characters from eBay. Because I actually don't know. I felt a call. I just like they were whispering my name. So let's take a closer look at what ruined VeggieTales. When it comes to the fall of VeggieTales, no one played a bigger role than that of Phil Vischer, the creator of the show. Now, for the record, there's a co-creator named Mike Morales, but we'll get to him in a bit. For now, let's talk about Phil and how this quiet, nerdy kid would go on to make history. And what better place to start than the very beginning? Phil was born in June of 1966 in Muscatine, Iowa, and belonged to a very Christian family. Sunday service, Sunday school, Awana, the works. Heck, Phil's great-grandfather on his mother's side was a famous radio preacher, the Reverend R. Brown of Omaha, Nebraska, which, let's be real here, sounds like a rapper's name. He's spitting those biblical rhymes, fire and brimstone. And you better believe if you're passing me that auxiliary chord in 1923, we're gonna be listening to RRR. Phil was a weird kid. His words, not mine. He said he loved to build things, watch TV, and then he had no shortage of weird thoughts. Thoughts that he would share and would get him in trouble with Sunday school teachers. They saw Phil as a class clown and warned his parents of his behavior. According to him, he didn't want to disappoint his parents, so he became very quiet instead, but still had these weird thoughts dancing around his head. Instead of hanging out with other kids, Phil would play with puppets and would experiment with his family's video equipment, by making stop-motion films with his toys. But when Phil turned 9 years old, something happened that would heavily impact him. His parents got divorced. This truly shook Phil to his core, and the ramifications of his parents' failed marriage would follow him for the rest of his life. It would even play a role in the rise and fall of vegetarians. Legit, something broke in Phil the day his father left the family, and Phil would never look at relationships the same way again. Why trust people when they can just leave your life? Just so you know, divorce is a very big theme in this story, so keep that in mind as we move along. Phil would remain with his mother and siblings as he grew up, but the family moved to Glen Ellen, Illinois, following the divorce. That's where Phil would spend his high school years and would continue to advance his skills in movie making and special effects. As a matter of fact, Phil was quickly realizing that he had a great talent, passion for understanding how things worked, specifically the films. Movies such as Star Wars, Tron, heavily inspired him to pursue this path and to see what computers and programming could take him. He even taught himself how to use mathematical equations to make a ball bounce on his Atari 400. According to Phil, quote, computers were infinitely reliable, unlike people. And then, alone. MTV was a game changer both for television and for film. He was blown away by the creative aspect of MTV and what it was bringing to the table. Music videos and content that broke all the rules. To an artist like Phil, it was a revelation. To a Christian like Phil, it was more like the book of Revelation. Velvet Fresco, Curves on Woman, Beavis and Phil was very alarmed at the ethical implications of MTV and what the channel was broadcasting into the very homes of red-blooded Americans. The soul of the nation was now at risk, and MTV was the catalyst that made Phil realize what his purpose in life would be: to use filmmaking as a way to reach out to people and bring them closer to God. It would be both his job and his ministry. And how did Phil begin this journey? By dropping out of college. He went to St. Paul Bible College for 3 semesters, but then was kicked out for failing chapel. So, dude, how did you fail chapel? All you gotta do is read the Bible out loud. Here, I'll do it. In the beginning, God created the earth. In the beginning, God created the heavens. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It's not God, is it? In the beginning, God created the heavens. But college was not a complete loss for Phil, for it was there that he met the future co-creator of VeggieTales, Mike Nuzlocke. The two were on a puppet team at the college and would go to churches and nursing homes to put on shows. Puppets. Oh God. Oh my God. They would even write scripts together, to which one would become the future basis for a venture show called The Forgivable Man. Needless to say, Phil and Mike really clicked, but both of them would fail college and eventually went their separate ways. But of course, only for a bit. Their paths would eventually cross in the near future. But in the meanwhile, Phil here needed a job and went back to the suburbs of Chicago to search for one. So Phil was now a college dropout and was on the hunt for a job. In 1985, he found one at a Christian video production company in Chicago. There, he would duplicate VHS cassettes. Remember those? And he would work the graveyard shift. But according to Phil, he preferred that. He got to be alone and could spend his free time at work reading up on other equipment, teaching himself how it works. As a matter of fact, that's how he became a video editor. In 1986, the first wave of computer-animated companies started to arrive and were being hired to create commercials for companies. Well, it turns out that Phil's boss wanted to get in on this growing market and bought something called the Bosch FGS 4000, one of the first commercially available computer animation systems. Phil's boss even paid to train him to understand the equipment. Around this time, Mike came back into the picture and joined up at Phil's company. Soon after that, the boss made the decision to move the office into the heart of Chicago, and Phil and Mike both decided to move downtown with it. So there you have Phil and Mike, two young guys working at a production company in Chicago. But then they had the idea to make their own little project on the side called A Day at the Beach. It featured Phil and Mike wearing sunglasses as they drove a banana car through a cartoon world, and a bunch of other silly antics. In a way, if you replace Phil and Mike for Bob and Larry, you're kind of looking at the very first Edinburgh stuff. But after 3 years of working at a production company, Phil decided that it was time to set off and launch his own business. He wanted to play a larger role when it came to the creative process and marketing of a company. In February of 1989, Phil launched Graphic Studios and started to look for business opportunities and clients to work with. Now, a big challenge Phil initially faced was affording equipment. So he struck a deal with another production company where he would buy time to use their equipment, but at night. But then a certain someone entered Phil's life. Someone very special. Lisa. Lisa and Phil originally met at a Bible conference and really hit it off. Like, really well. Because the two got married after dating for 2 years? And then they had a kid on the way. And to make matters worse, Phil was broke. But money isn't everything. Yes, it is. But real talk, Phil and Lisa really clicked. It turns out that Lisa's parents were also divorced. So the two were able to relate overnight. In the book, Phil says that his successful marriage with Lisa is his greatest achievement in life. Which, let's be real here, is really saying something. Since Phil wrote this amazing song.
Everybody got a water buffalo. You're got what money.
And that's hard to top. So life was starting to pile up for Phil. But folks, believe me, this was just the beginning. At this point of the story, we're going through the fun underdog phase. Just wait till we get to the real drama. Phil said in his book that computer animation would be the key to his storytelling. But he also knew how difficult that path would be. He even considered going the live action route and copying the successes of other Christian shows like McGee and Me, which, to be fair, had some animated segments too. By the way, folks, I watched an episode of this, and it is the most 1990s show ever made. It's like what Horsing Around was making fun of. Around this time, McGee and Me was the talk of the Christian town, and was the show to beat. It was very popular at Christian bookstores, and was handled by Focus on the Family and Tyndall House Productions. But Phil here thought, maybe I could do better. Maybe, just maybe, I can produce my own half-hour-long computer-animated home video. A chance for him to create art and launch his ministry. I mean, how hard could it be?
And one fine looking
Ministry.
Why doesn't mine look like that? Ah!
In early 1990, Phil kicked things up with his pursuit of computer animation and decided to go to SIGGRAPH, which stands for Special Interest Group on Graphics and Interactive Technologies. It was basically a convention for folks who wanted to discuss and showcase computer graphics. There were lots of big people from the industry there, but the biggest takeaway for Phil was the introduction of a brand new technique called lattice deformation. It allowed animation models to stretch and squash as they moved. Folks, this was a game changer for the animation industry and especially for Phil. Even Pixar's old animated shorts did not have this kind of animation. But Phil's could. He decided to get his hands on this new animation software and make his half-hour-long film. He would just have to make sure that he had compelling, yet simple characters to work alongside the software. Something without legs. So during the day, Phil would do work for his clients, and then at night, he would focus on making his kids show. The only problem? It's always a problem, isn't it? Money. The software Phil needed cost around $25,000, but his stepfather was kind enough to lend him the money for the program. Phil got lucky, but still had quite the road ahead of him. He had a wife, he had a kid on the way, and he had a small business that was hanging on by a thread. But he was optimistic. He got to test out the lattice deformation for a client, and they absolutely loved it. Phil then made his own character for a test run, and created Nerf Ball Guy, which was a total success. But then he realized that he needed characters that were even more simple. Monopod bodies, no arms, no legs. If there was going to be any effort on these characters, it was going to be focused on their eyes. And that was a brilliant decision, considering that most CG characters at the time had rigid eyes that lacked expression. Phil wanted to capture the cartoony eyes from the old days of animation, like with Daffy Duck or Bugs Bunny. It is legit amazing that the limitations Phil faced would actually provide a solution that would make his characters truly stand out. And now we get to the part where the magic begins. Wait, magic? No, that's witchcraft. So Phil had the technology and a rough idea of what he wanted to do. Now he just needed to finalize his characters. What about talking candy? Yeah, hey, that could work. Hold it, said Lisa Fisher. You know, moms are going to be mad if you make their kids fall in love with candy bars. Oh my, she's right, said Phil. Talking vegetables would be much more powerful. So Phil decided to create a cucumber character, who he nicknamed Mr. Q. Ah, sweet, an early version of Larry. It was like part of his evolutionary process. Mike also started to brainstorm stories for the show, and thought about doing spooks on classic literature, like The Grapes of Wrath. And it would be mine and came up with the name for the show. Phil then went to a company called David C. Cook to see if they wanted to invest in the production of VeggieTales. Now, they liked the test footage of Mr. Q, but they were only interested in selling the show, not funding it. Phil then went to Tyndall House, and they said the same thing. No dice. Phil was really starting to feel the burn. His kid finally arrived, but he barely had any money. Despite this, he was determined to push on with VeggieTales. They saw it as a call from God. And here's an interesting fun fact. Phil actually pitched VeggieTales to Nickelodeon back in the day, when they were on the hunt for their first 3 Nicktoons. They considered the idea, but ultimately said no. We don't do computer animation. To Trump, for instance. Well, it wasn't all doom and gloom yet, but Phil finally came up with Bob the Tomato and officially had his veggie duo ready to go. And Phil would even go on to voice Bob, and Mike would voice Tony. After that, the two put together a short featuring Bob and Larry as a way to pitch the show to potential investors, but nobody was interested. It got to the point where Phil could barely afford food, and for the first time since his journey began, he doubted himself. He thought maybe God was wrong on this one. But according to Phil, he got this random check in the mail for $400 from some anonymous source and saw it as a sign to keep pushing forward. So he kept at it. He even got some advice from his mother about how to portray Christianity in the show. Number one, do not portray Jesus as a vegetable. Good call, Phil's mom. Number two, try not to imply that the vegetables can have redemptive relationships with God. Don't show the vegetables praying unless they're playing the role of a historical or biblical figure. And number three, try to communicate to kids how God made each one of them unique. And he loves them very much. She said, that is the most important message. That advice would serve Phil well as he pushed forward. But then, something amazing happened. Phil got $80,000 from a friend. Just a guy who was like, hey man, I really believe in what you're doing. And it needs to happen. Which is like, incredible. I mean, none of my friends have given me $80,000. To which, at that point, are they really even my friends? You know who you are. Well, strap in, folks. Things are about to take off for Phil. He got a chance to pitch his show to some Christian ministry that aired hit shows in the Middle East. This mysterious stranger from the ministry who couldn't even reveal his name due to security reasons. Okay. Well, the guys took a deal with Phil and said, we will pay you $110,000 in exchange for 11 episodes of VeggieTales. Boom. There it is. Phil finally secured funding. And now it was time to make a show.
And now it's time for a soft set.
1993. And the gauntlet has been thrown down. Phil and his team had to crank out a 30-minute computer-animated cartoon before Christmas. A computer-animated show? Well, that's new, and would be very challenging. But Phil had the power of God and vegetables on his side. Okay, so what do we have to do? We need some animators. Okay, said Phil. So he hired Chris Olsen and Robert Adams. Okay, boom, done. Next, we need some voice actors. Michael voice cast. Why don't we just voice the characters? And maybe, I don't know, Lisa. Lisa, you could voice Junior. How about that? Okay, boom, done. Next, we need some music. How about this guy named Kurt Heine, who works as the music director at our church and has zero experience working on shows. You know, as long as Phil would run his bad luck, this was a particular occasion where Phil was very lucky. Because Kurt was amazing. And in August of 1993, Phil changed the name of Black X Studios to Big Idea Productions. And he and his friends and his family were trying their best to hype up people for the arrival of VeggieTales. And would send out letters to other families and friends to get them pumped up. That's kind of cute. Get the letter in the mail of a cartoon cucumber that my son's making. Please watch it. No. But, hold on. The Christmas deadline was quickly approaching. And by the skin of the team was able to get their deadline. The first official episode of VeggieTales was completed. They had a policy in mind for VeggieTales. To make a Christian show that wasn't just good for Christian viewers, but for all viewers. And I truly believe that they achieved that. Like I said at the start of the video, I knew non-Christian families who loved the show and were watching all the time. That's truly a testament to the show. First off, The direction Big Idea went for the animation was brilliant. Focusing on the eyes and face of the models gave these characters such a massive edge when it came to expressions. So many expressions. Then there's the music. For a guy who was new to producing music for videos, Kurt absolutely knocked it out of the park. The songs in VeggieTales are, in my opinion, genuinely fantastic, and still hold up to this very day. While researching this video, I listened to the soundtracks on Spotify and was like, whoa, wow, these songs are catchy. Silly Songs with Larry is legit some top-notch stuff. Then there's the writing. Sometimes the episodes had original stories, and sometimes they were reenacting stuff from the Bible. The Bible. Regardless, the writing was always on point. It wasn't afraid to have fun, even with biblical content. VeggieTales was able to put its own original spin on these tales from the Bible, even the dark stuff. Remember that story from the Bible where King David was envious of his soldier's wife and sent the guy to the front lines of a battle so he would die and David could hook up with his wife? The Bible's wild. Okay, well, VeggieTales used that plot for an episode. Instead of King David, you got Larry. And instead of a woman, he wants a rubber ducky from Junior. That being said, Larry still sent the kid off to go to war. And the poor kid came back with PTSD. You know, for kids. And of course, the characters are a lot of fun. Bob, Larry, Junior, Jimmy, Jerry, Pa, Ray, Nezzy. They all have unique, interesting, and defined personalities that work well off each other. For example, Bob is the straight man, and Larry is the silly goof. Good stuff. That's a good dynamic. There are even adult jokes in this show. Now, they're not dirty, and they went over my head when I was a kid. Why did this city cost the road? Like this bit with the IRS and how this thief was trying to claim Larry's cookies. As an adult, I find that hilarious. And there's also plenty of references to pop culture stuff, like Star Trek or The Holy Grail. As a matter of fact, I am very certain that the humor from Monty Python was a huge influence on film and mind.
March in your general direction.
Overall, VeggieTales was more than just a show that used computer animation. It had strong writing, great characters, catchy music. Combine all of this with clever computer animation, and you had something that was truly one of a kind. And people were starting to notice. Phil was flown out to Nashville, Tennessee, to talk to a guy from a Christian music company called Word Records. In May of 1994, they struck a deal. And Word asked for 11 episodes, provided funding, and would be a distributor. Despite this investment of money, Big Idea was almost broke, and was barely keeping its head above water, since costs were very high. In August of '94, the first 2 episodes of VeggieTales finally arrived in 750 Christian bookstores. Now, as far as world records go, VeggieTales was not the first half-hour-long CGI show. That was played by the Crash Test Dummies. But VeggieTales was the first CGI home video series, and the first CGI series of any kind produced in the United States. Now, despite being the first in a few categories, initial sales were very low, and people at Christian bookstores were really going for it. They even considered at this point selling Big Idea. But then Phil's lawyer said, hey, I have a friend who wants to give you $50,000. But in exchange, I get to own 1% of the company. Phil said in his book that the donor, friend of his lawyer, was jokingly called Mr. Psychic, since he worked remotely. This guy would also step in to help with accounting at Big Idea. So the team was growing. And with this new cast, Phil even brought on 2 more animators, Tom Gannon and Ron Smith. Ron would go on to be a key player at Big Idea, and was the guy behind the future series at the studio, called 321 Penguins. We'll talk about that in a bit. But now, it was early 1995. Sales were still pretty low, and Phil was feeling the burn. But this vegetable powder keg was about to explode. So, what caused VeggieTales to blow up in popularity? A key thing to remember is that VeggieTales was primarily sold in Christian bookstores. Unlike Walmart, the people who worked at these bookstores had more freedom to choose what they wanted to put on the TV. Well, it turned out that these young adults and college kids who worked at these bookstores really liked VeggieTales. They liked the animation. They liked the jokes. Phil even got letters from adults who were like, "Hey, my husband and I love your show. We even threw a VeggieTales themed party for our friends. By the way, we don't have kids." Phil was like, "Wait, what? Oh, looks like these cool college kids were eating their vegetables after that." And guess what? It was catching on. After that, Phil got a call from a company called Good Times Video, which was known for making terrible rip-offs of Disney films. They were like, "Hey, how about you dump these Christian distributors and get with us? We can sell your target vegetables at Walmart. Unlike them, well, if you want to do that, you gotta tone down the Christian stuff." Phil thought it over, but ultimately turned them down. VeggieTales was his ministry, so taking God out of it would completely defeat the purpose. Phil kept his faith. Enter Bill Alger. This larger-than-life 50-year-old guy, he cursed like a sailor, but prayed like a saint. He smoked cigars. He slammed down booze. He walked around in crazy suits with custom patchwork pants with clashing colors. The guy was an absolute champ, and he was there to help Phil. He offered to do all the business stuff, but Phil was too busy to take care of it. So Phil made Bill his vice president of licensing. By mid-1996, Big Idea was blowing up. Sales were finally exceeding the trendsetters, and Phil decided to step away from animating and instead focus his efforts on more of a leadership role at the studio. Kind of like what Walt did for Disney. As a matter of fact, Walt was a massive inspiration to Phil. He admired Walt's creativity, his movements, his accomplishments. Phil wanted that. He desired to be the Christian Walt Disney. That's where it comes from. 1987 would be an explosive year for Big Idea Productions. Videos are flying off the shelves and breaking records. And merch, books, clothes, costumes, puppets. And numbers were up across the board. Phil might have stepped down from animating, but he found himself incredibly busy, rubbing shoulders with big names in the industry, and getting hit up by companies who wanted a piece of that vegetable action. Now, a big part in our story, and I mean big, was the arrival of David Leach, the owner of Lyric Studios, and the father of Barney the Dinosaur. Phil really liked him. I appreciated that he was a man of conviction and principle. He had distributed multiple franchises and would be a good fit for VeggieTales, since the previous distributors were becoming more and more unappealing with their questionable business practices. With Lyric and Big Idea's back, they could become big, but really big. Despite the success of Big Idea around this time, drama was starting to flare up with the team. More people were being hired in the company, and the personalities were starting to clash. Also, the question came, should the people we hire be Christian? This is a Christian ministry after all. Or is that too unreasonable? So the more people they hired, the less Christian Big Idea would become. It was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place with this one. He was afraid the Christian vibes of Big Idea might scare off employees. And to Phil, he hated the idea that others could mess up his life by leaving him. But there was no time to worry about that. Phil had a dream, a vision, to take on the big, money-loving, unethical giants of the entertainment industry. Disney, Viacom, Warner Brothers, all of them soulless corporations who stood for nothing and did not care about the heart and soul of America. But Big Idea was certainly its way and was ready to offer a company that actually had morals and stood for something decent.
In his own words, to take down the corporations.
Phil wants to make something truly significant, something that would outlast him. He thought, God wants me to make a great company. And Phil was ready to commit everything to that dream. His goal for Big Idea, to markedly enhance the moral and spiritual fabric of our culture through creative media, to build the most trusted of the top 4 family media brands within 20 years. Well, in order to do that, you probably need a CEO. So Phil brought on a business mentor case, this guy who was previously a CEO of a $1 billion insurance company. Phil was floored. Sales were going up. Videos were being sold at Walmart. Phil was being invited to speak at conferences and conventions. And Big Idea was getting a ton of press coverage. Heck, it was getting so good that other Christian companies tried to get a piece of that vegetable pie. Bible Man, Gaither's Pond, and of course, the critically acclaimed Joshua and the Promised Land. No! There were even new shows that would satirize educators, such as Drawn Together, SNL, and The Simpsons. That's when you know who really needs. Now, Phil had confidence in the growth of Big Idea. He was hungry and wanted to see his company get big fast. And since he was the majority shareholder, he had full control. So there was nothing to worry about, right? Right? The team was growing. Presidents, VPs, HR, PR, marketing. VeggieTales broke records in 1998 and sold over 6 million videos that year alone. They have become the best-selling Christian video series of all time. Phil felt invincible. The Big Idea could truly take on the world and become a media empire. Something to rise up and challenge these unethical corporations. Literally nothing could go wrong. So here we are, the beginning of the end. Sure, things were looking good for Phil, but all of that was about to come crumbling down. And the canary in the coal mine, Mr. Simon. He said to Phil, I'm concerned about the growth of the company. We're spending too much money. And Phil replied by moving the location of Big Idea to a larger office. It was, after all, God's will. The studio was even catching the attention of Disney, since some of their own animators were quitting to go join Phil and his team. Yep, Mickey Mouse had officially noticed Bob and Lynn. I'm gonna chop you up and put you in salad! You not Pluto, Goofy, Bob! You stop calling me a dog, I'm a sentient creature. But things were about to take an ugly turn. The staff started to fight more often. Marketing people were starting to tone down the Christian stuff on the Big Idea website in favor of a moral, active demographic. Christian employees were trying to witness and share the love of God with non-Christian employees, leaving Bible tracts at their desks. HR did not like that, but Phil did not want to fire people. He did not want them to leave his life. Also, Phil mentioned that he wasn't having as much fun anymore. It was all business this, business that. He was stressed way too thin. And then treachery was about. So it turns out that the president, CFO, and other executives of Big Idea were meeting behind closed doors, conducting business and estimating numbers without Phil's knowledge. Lines were officially being drawn in the sand. Phil and Mike were then about to make another critical mistake, creating a cinematic VeggieTales movie. It was called John, and Phil and Mike thought it could work. Okay, so the passion's there. What about the finances? Kind of. We'll double back on this. Up until now, 1998, VeggieTales video sales were going up exponentially. But 1999 would be the year when sales would finally slow down by a considerable percent. In 98, sales increased by 200%. In 99, it was only 10%. And while the sales dipped, the staff only continued to increase in size, and expenses went up with it. They were paying for a larger staff, and the cost to make a single video of VeggieTales was now around $1 million. Is that the sound of a clock ticking?
It's time to stop!
The list of problems started to grow, and fast. Strap in, folks. This is about to get ugly. The suits of the company were pushing Phil more and more out of the picture. Meanwhile, employees were leaving Big Idea because it was too Christian, while other employees were leaving because it wasn't Christian enough. And then the cost of Jonah continued to rise. What they estimated to be around $7 million in production costs and $7 million in marketing would eventually cost more. Much more. And then this dream building that Phil was trying to secure for Big Idea in Lombard, Illinois, blew up in his face. They thought this building would cost around $10 million. Right? It ended up costing $17 million. And the bank they were working with would only loan out $8 million. This, folks, in my opinion, was the first real big blow to Big Idea Productions. And it was only going to get worse. Project was canceled. And Big Idea lost $4 million in their investment for the building. Ouch. Phil then took a much-needed break after that, but came home to absolute chaos. It got to the point where Phil sat his executive team down and had a let's talk kind of meeting. It did not go over well, and the president of the company refused to talk to Phil until he apologized. Sales for Big Idea in 1999 totaled $38 million. In 2000, the executives were estimating $77 million. That was very optimistic. And worst of all, the estimated cost in 2000 were going to be around $73 million. And most of that was going for non-animated jobs. Phil did not like that. In January of 2000, the numbers were in. And Big Idea missed their forecasted sales by 80%. And at that moment, Phil decided it was time to fire his president. The guy had been screwing Phil over for long. Also, a bunch of other executives were let go, or straight up left on their own accord. Phil was trying to clean out management, and in the process, he put some numbers, and then it dawned on him. Things were really bad. Big Idea desperately needed money. It got to the point they were going to run out of money in only a few months. And they still needed money to finish their movie. But they were $20 million short of being able to complete it. So they reached out to their bank for help. The bank was willing to lend them a helping hand, but there would be certain stipulations. If Big Idea wanted that fat loan, they would have to be kept on track and meet certain numbers. If not, the bank would foreclose on the company. So Phil signed the agreement in August of 2000. 1 month later, and they were out of compliance. Meaning the bank could shut Big Idea down. Right about now, you guys are probably thinking, this is the worst it gets. In late 2000, the expenses for Big Idea were skyrocketing, and sales were also declining. Jonah was in production, and money was extremely tight. So tight that Phil had to cut down his staff yet again. All the executive people were practically gone by this point, except for a new president who stepped in temporarily. The new president did some number crunching, said that big idea would be out of money in 60 days, turned to Phil and said, "What did you do to VeggieTales?" Where are we on our move counter? 2 so far? Well, there's number 3. Despite the cutbacks, it wasn't enough. And in May of 2001, Phil went forward with a massive layoff, and it broke his heart. He hated to see people go, but it was the only way to cut costs. Unfortunately, it still wasn't enough. And Phil was left with yet another hard decision. He could, 1, fire even more people and only do a VeggieTales episode once or twice a year, or B, throw a Hail Mary and hope that the Jonah movie is a huge success. To Phil, choosing option A would be akin to losing faith in God, and he wasn't about to do that. Phil and Mike also had the idea of doing a spin-off of VeggieTales called The Cartoon Adventures of Larry Boy. One it would be done in Flash to save time and money. By the way, Phil, if you're watching this, you said in your book that Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls were done in Flash. That was wrong! Who do you think you are? Yeah, get on my level. Get back to me when you have a YouTube channel.
I already have one.
Stupid, what have you ever done with your life, except for making my childhood? Big Idea also launched another series called 321 Penguins that was headed by Chris Olsen, who, at this point, was essentially running the animation studio. The hope here was that Big Idea could leverage VeggieTales and use it to expand their brand with other shows. Guess what? Didn't work. A lot of fans didn't care for the visual style of Larry Boy, while 321 Penguins wasn't nearly as popular as VeggieTales, but cost almost just as much to make. That would be oof number 4. And then, as is the running theme in Phil's story, things got worse. So it turns out that Big Idea never officially signed the contracts to give distribution rights to Lyric Studios. Instead, it was more of a verbal agreement, which meant the contract was not legally binding. Phil only signed up with Lyric because he liked Dick. And knew he was a good man who kept his word. If anything about Lyric ever freaked Phil out, he could walk away from it. Well, it just so happens that Dick was selling Lyric to a company called Hit Entertainment, the corporation who owns Bob the Builder, Thomas and Friends, and a bunch of other kid franchises. And to make matters worse, there was no way for Phil to talk to Dick about it. And soon after, he died in a freak accident. Phil did not want to sell VeggieTales to Hit, but he also knew if Hit did not own said property, they would most likely not promote it as much as their own franchises. So, in early 2001, Phil made the decision to leave Lyric and signed up with WEA instead, which was the music distribution company at Warner Brothers. Ironic, Phil wanted to stand against Warner, but now needed their help. They offered to advance enough money to Big Idea so they could finish Jonah, though they would eventually have to pay them back. And 10 days after announcing this deal with Warner, Hit Entertainment slapped Big Idea with a lawsuit. They were mad. But the lawsuit could wait. We gotta save Big Idea first. We have multiple ways to do this after all. There's the VeggieTales concert. Wait, never mind. That failed. Well, there's the merchandise. Shoot. That money belonged to the distributors. Well, what about the movie? Yes, the movie! Our Hail Mary of the VeggieTales arsenal. This will save the company, right? Folks aren't even surprised anymore. At this point, I think you know the answer. According to Phil, Jonah needed to make at least $18 million in order for Big Idea to walk away with a profit. With fingers crossed, Jonah was released in October of 2002 and made around $25 million at the box office. Now, half of that money went to the movie theaters, and the rest of it, well, it went to the company that marketed the film. So overall, Jonah was a financial failure, and it was not going to save the company. Couple this failure with the impending lawsuits and massive layoffs, and it should be no surprise, Phil wasn't in the best place mentally. He felt like he was losing his focus with his objective for Big Idea, and everything was coming undone, but he still had faith. Phil thought God was going to save Big Idea. Yeah, sure. It was now winter of 2002, and animators at the company were starting to leave. And instead, we're going to Blue Sky Studios to work on robots, not the machines, the movie. Yeah, remember that film? It's got Robin Williams. But whatever, Big Idea had a bigger problem to deal with, the lawsuit. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the ending of our story. Now, Big Idea had already earned over $2 million on legal fees so far, and begged the CEO of it to settle out of court. He said, no, this guy was out for blood, and it was time for a court battle. And this corner, weighing over 10,000 pounds, Arnie the dinosaur! And in this corner, weighing the case would go from 2002 to 2003 and took place in Dallas, Texas. During this time, the president of Big Idea left the company, and by April of 2003, only 65 people worked at Big Idea. On the back end, the video sales for Jonah were going well. Too bad Phil did not see a penny of it, since that money would go to distributors. But you know what? It's time for law stuff. Phil hated the court proceedings and found them dreadfully boring. His lawyer even told him, hey, Phil, try to look more interested. Well, the argument for his entertainment and the ownership of Lyric boiled down to this. There's actually three main points. One, even though there was not an officially signed agreement, there was a binding agreement based on the original offer letter between Big Idea and Lyric. That since the offer letter was signed by Big, and the return correspondence from Big Idea carried a signature on the back's cover sheet, that those documents, taken together, constituted the binding relationship, even though Dick's letter clearly said, quote, there would be no binding relationship until a formal agreement was signed. Two, Lyric's lawyers made the argument that the wording of the potential contract said, quote, approval of which Big Idea will not unreasonably withhold, and said that Big Idea was walking away from Lyric, and yet, because Phil was greedy, that he was leaving only because he wanted more money, and that was it. And that was not a reasonable cause to walk away. They admitted that Big Idea had the right to approve of its purchase of Lyric, but that they, quote, unreasonably withheld approval. And finally, its lawyers made the argument that Big Idea had given it DVD rights to all of Big Idea's videos, even though the contract only said video cassettes only. For evidence, Big Idea 60 videos on DVD for Lyric to use for test audiences only. The lawyers for it pointed to the DVDs and noted the logo of Lyric on said cover. See, they said, they gave us DVD rights. Phil thought that all of these arguments were completely stupid. To which they were. It was a total stretch of logic. But that's corporate law. But this brings us to the final death blow for Big Idea. They lost. The judge and jury agreed with the lawyers from New York and gave them everything. $11 million in damages, payment for legal fees, and of course, Big Idea itself. 14 years of Phil's life work was ripped from his arms and assets. Despite losing in court, Phil was determined to keep Big Idea together as one entity. He pulled a 363 bankruptcy sale, which was a way to keep the company together and operate as one instead of being stripped apart and sold separately. That was a smart move. So, in 2003, there was an auction for Big Idea between companies, and a bidding war ensued. The winner, a company called Classic Media, with a purchase of $19.6 million. Now Bob, Larry, the entire VeggieTales cast no longer belonged to Phil. Sadly, the pain for Phil did not end there. He got angry letters from fans, angry ex-employees, and ultimately, he asked himself, why? Why would God bring a kid to life only to see it die? For the record, I am going to approach the following from Phil's perspective and beliefs. So keep that in mind. Over time, Phil realized that he made a false idol out of Big Idea. That he was too obsessed with becoming big and doing it quickly. And in the shuffle of it all, he lost focus on his ministry and God. Phil's original plan was to do what he was doing for God. But according to him, he lost sight of it and only cared about his own dreams. In his book, Phil says, quote, beware your dreams. And his personal dream was to become the next Christian Walt Disney, to provide a strong option for people who want to watch movies and shows from a company with strong ethics. He had tunnel vision, and in the process of reaching for the stars, he fell. He fell hard. And you want to hear the most soul-crushing part of it all? You're not ready for this. The irony. In August of 2005, the verdict for the Lyric lawsuit was overturned in federal appeals court. But by that time, it was too late. The damage had been done. Big Idea had already been sold off, and there was no way for Phil to get it back. Hey, what did I say? You know what? I told you all this was going to be a sad story. Well, guess what? The story is not in there. But before we move on, let's do a quick recap of the main things that went wrong for Phil and brought the original run of VeggieTales to its knees. Number one, high cost. Big Idea spent a lot of money and hired way too many people. Folks, money is the name of the game. And Big Idea, for the majority of its run, always sees shortcuts. Number two, poor management. Phil admits that he does not care for being the CEO or president of the company, and would rather pass that off to other experienced people. Because these people did not have the same goals as Phil and Nick. Instead, they had unreasonable goals that would eventually sink the company. Number three, the movie. This was a bad idea from the get-go. It was way too much, way too soon, especially with the other problems in the mix. It took away bandwidth, it cost a ton of money. And here's the thing, the movie itself wasn't bad. If only Big Idea could have waited a few more years, the movie might have been a success. Number four, distributors. I feel that out of all of the problems I've listed so far, this one was the most out of Phil's hands. He played by the rules and had an understanding with a guy who was cool with that. But then that guy died, and the new owners went for Phil's club. In hindsight, maybe he should have signed a contract and found suitor by the viewer instead of letting things happen. If you did, it definitely would have helped him quick. But ultimately, Phil is himself.
All right.
He should have his friends. Phil, Big Idea, but if people says that he was too eager to go big. What's his own deal? Well, can't say he doesn't own up to it. Despite the lawsuits, bankruptcy, auction, this was not the end for VeggieTales. You see, Classic Media was now the new owner. And hold on. I'm wrong. They were bought by Dreamworks. No, hold on. They got bought by NBC Universal. Oh, wait. They were bought by Comcast. What is happening? So, technically, Comcast owns VeggieTales. Well, VeggieTales would eventually find itself on TV in a show called VeggieTales on TV. It was repackaged episodes of the original VeggieTales, and it aired from 2006 to 2009 on a channel called Hulu. It was even the top Saturday morning cartoon during its run. But this was also the time when the new owners started to downplay God in the show. I actually got to ask Bill about this. And he said, quote, I was upset when an NBC deal resulted in the past episode being You Got It. Because I had been told that wouldn't happen. I was involved in that project. Step this up. It became clear the shows needed to be separated. Heck, I mean, there were religious groups that were offended that they were taking God out of vegetables. One member said, quote,
The series is successful because of its biblical worldview, not its side effects. That's the signature of vegetarians.
anyway, honestly, you know what? That's a fair point. The show did start off as Christian after all. But then things got weird with the Netflix series. Those are VeggieTales in the House in 2014, and then VeggieTales in the City in 2017. Phil and Mike still worked on the shows as voice actors, but that was it. Instead of them, the series was led under the command of
But you tell them now,
Buddy, I didn't know how to say their name, but I
let me say that,
he was the guy who was creator of Earthworm Jim.
I don't know.
Not my first choice. Nor my 87.
Only one might have got me the idea from
As a character,
I'm ready to tell.
anime
Who want you to?
Also, stories and writing weren't nearly as sharp. Overall, I did not care for In the House or In the City. And it just proves that Phil and Mike really knew what they were doing originally. And let me tell you, the VeggieTales fandom did not care for these reboots either. I found this crazy forum post from like 2014 that said the following. Quote, no one in this series is cute. Even then, the cucumber and impression on since I was 8 looks like what comes out of your body if you eat too much green stuff. Really? It's Larry? Larry's hot? Larry's your crush? Well, that's a new one. Oh, by the way, someone replied to this and said, quote,
You're gonna burn this house for the rent you made.
oh man, these fans go hard. Despite the crushing defeats that Phil suffered throughout the years, there was a silver lining. He got a second chance. In March of 2019, it was announced that the broadcasting rights to VeggieTales was picked up by Trinity Broadcasting Network, a Christian-based television network. They wanted VeggieTales to return to its original format, and also wanted Phil to be a writer and director on the show. Heck, they got the old band back together. Phil, Mike, Lisa, Kurt. It was like seeing old friends again. The show is called The VeggieTales Show, and the first episode was released in late 2019. I watched it, and it feels a lot like the Muppets. With how they put on a show, and Kermit's walking around backstage with his clipboard, trying to keep things in line. It's like that, but with VeggieTales. The writing is familiar, the jokes are funny, the characters look much better, and overall, I dig it. Again, Phil and his team brought something unique to the table when they were originally making VeggieTales. So it's really good to see them back on the show. Oh, and by the way, the first episode is about making peace. And at the end of the show, Bob straight up apologizes to the rest of the VeggieTales for letting them down and asks them to forgive him. If that is not a metaphor, then I don't know what is. So, in conclusion, after sharing this long story of success and failure, I have to say this. I both pity and respect him. This truly was a story about a man who was original and brilliant. How he built something amazing, but unfortunately flew too close to the sun and came crashing down. And here's the thing. He admits it, which is refreshing since most people don't like to admit their mistakes. And considering all things, VeggieTales was a pretty groundbreaking show. It was very good during its original run. I rewatched it while working on this video, and the show absolutely holds up despite its old animation. It's truly a testament that VeggieTales was built with creative animation, great characters writing, and very catchy music. It was more than just Christian vegetables or early CG animation. It was one of a kind, and that is why it became a global phenomenon. Honestly, It makes me wonder what could have been if Bill could have stayed in charge. But in hindsight, it sounds like things played out in a way that ultimately worked out in Bill's favor. He sounded miserable during the late 90s and early 2000s. It seems much more happy now. I suppose all is well that ends well. Again, I have a lot of respect for Bill. I know not everybody is on the same page when it comes to religious content, but I see Bill as a genuine guy who lived well. He never struck me as arrogant or mean spirited. Just a guy who was clever with his creations, but was taken for a ride while reaching for the stars. Props to Bill for admitting his faults, learning from them, and moving on. That takes guts. Overall, I hope more people will see the original VeggieTales in a better light and realize how much of a footprint it left on the history of animation. And all thanks to a nerdy kid and his religious vegetables.
Well, we're out of time for today, but remember, God made you special, and He loves you very much. Bye! Bamboo!
Speaking of which, where are my God-fearing vegetables? I told you scary monsters how to be funny.
Original series now streaming.
There, he snuck up on the cameras and said, "Ooh." No, I don't think he was trying to pull out the good one. I think he was just trying to get him scared again. Oh, now, welcome to the campfire. Today, Bill and I are going to be talking about spooky stories about Disney characters, Disney movies, or just Disney in general. We've rounded up 10 stories that are outright horrendous, or with completely silly, ridiculous, and cliche twists at every corner. And plenty of punctuation. That's how I can definitely assure. So, for our marshmallows, let's check out the 10 worst Disney creepy monsters. And just a heads up, there will be discussion of some more over-the-top animated gore and music. It kind of comes with the territory of bad creepy monsters, because apparently violence is really slow. And, of course, any of the horror stories are watching. Please don't take my criticism. I want to criticize your stories. You certainly not be a person. I hope you like them. You can improve.
Hey, it's been a while, Trevor. I'm going to use some like slow motion.
Ah, hey, Dennis. Please welcome a good friend of mine who is looking for them. He's a master of monsters. Want to help us read some of these abysmal stories, Dennis?
How do you
Well, you are. As well. Also, some of these stories have been slightly really good at all. I'm not going to get into this one. If you'd like to check out the full stories, I'll share in this one. So without further ado, on is the countdown. You've heard of it as Now this is an authentic crafty pasta. It even comes with a cliche caption picture in the wiki. Apparently this boy picture is Mickey telling the kids that this fun. Anyway, let's begin.
It was your average trip to Disney World. Roller coasters, bridge, events, and etc. But one of it was for 2013 movie night. I logged off my Google account and went to movie nights. Oh, yeah, for people, they're serious business.
Employees play a movie for help me. And so I was gonna watch. Nina was saying, help me, Mickey, while being stabbed, and so Mickey was coming out.
But while Mickey was saving Mickey, he got violently hit by a car, and blood and guts went in the air, and all of the children watching screamed while Mickey was laughing. But the movie said, die. And that gave one kid a... And that gave one kid a secure. He didn't survive after seeing it, even if it couldn't cause him for what I was seeing. What? This story got so serious so quick.
And movie place telling their children, death is fun. And the movie was done already, and every kid was screaming and crying while the employees were shocked seeing it and begging the children to get it. But I was scared seeing that sight, and our final days, I didn't even mind to watch Stick Shadow, even if I was bored, I would not really watch. Where are my full stops, sir? You randomly capitalized here and there, that seems to have been mistakes. I went to the manager at the pool and the closed movie night for quite a while, and were searching why that happened. And apparently that's it. But to be fair, this healthy movie still sounds less freaky than the Mad Doctor was. Oh, look, a John Coyle. That's a bear. It's more like you could. It's all world.
Wow, for once this terrible creepypasta does not have anything to do with last episode.
It's a freaking miracle. Well, let's read it then. Today, I got very big news. My mom and dad made a decision. That is good news, I guess. They said that they decided that we are going to Disney World. I am so excited. A boy in my class said he went to Disney World. He said it was fun. So I thought I'd like to go someday myself. It's June now. The 13th day of June, we're headed to Orlando, Florida. It's the 3rd day of June now. I'm so excited. My dad said we're going with my cousins. It's because of my cousin Dan's birthday. Dan is named. Always calls me stupid. I'm only a little girl that's not there. Clearly, this is all very important information for Disney. Where are we going with this?
Today we're on our way to Disney. Luckily, Dad's in a different part of town, but only have 2 hours to go.
I'm so happy. The hotel looks cool. There's a big pool and a big room. There's also a pool lot. Tomorrow, Mom said we're going on the rides. I'm skipping them on the sidewalk, but my mom decided, and we're on our way to the ride pool. It's a small world. My mother says, all right. It sounds ancient. I'm at the outside of the ride. It looks pretty. There's a long line though. I turn and kiss my mother. I thanked her. That's very sweet. Get to the point, please. When we finally got to the boat, my mom pointed to the cute little kid singing the song. It's a world of laughter, it's a world of tears, it's a world of postman, it's a world of tears, it's a small world after all. I looked down, the water was crystal blue. I stepped towards the wall, slightly red. I turned to my mom, she gave me a smile, and I saw the frown on her face. What's wrong, Mom?
I fell down. I started sleeping last night. I was sleeping. I woke up and still heard the song. It's a small world after all. Except I was in a different room. I saw all the kids that we saw earlier in the song. They would go outside to the public experience. There was a smile on the face of the woman inside. They would witness. And if they knew any others, they would witness. But I told them
I didn't want that to happen to me. I turned around and ran for the light. I just looked in. While walking toward it, there was more light on the floor. I turned around. All the other kids looked mortified. They were covered in frost and the bruises of wine. And they were whipped. They would cover up their knees. I opened the door and ran outside. I fell. I fell really far into the water. And I was rusty.
I was waiting for the boat and looking at the big red out there. I heard someone behind me shout to go outside. And
There was Steve, getting bruises all over his cheek, and a huge smile on his face. He didn't want to have a smile on his face. I ran to him and hugged him, but something pulled me back, and I was back in the rust. There was such a blood over my back. was outside singing the song. It's a small world after all. Well, guess now we got to see behind Disneyland's small world one. Secretly run by children. Species of fish. Oh, hooray, oh joyous day. Yet another lost episode will be constant. Bad luck. It's not every lost episode is dead as a man.
I was excited to do it because Bill Cipher is my favorite character. I am simply the
When the disc went from the episode started, the opening showed the mystery set on fire for weeks. Then, once the opening and the sky was blood red. Then Bill Cipher, his eyes all black, except for his double-barreled shotgun, holding box, structured in the Bill then locked a very demonic lock. Then punched from his hand, counting money in his room.
Bill appeared and knocked him out of the car. This will help us escape. I also said with stops right down to his
He locked the very demonic lock. Then, grabbed the chainsaw. Then yelled at him. Finally, Bill touched his head off. The doctor, the more demonic lock. Then, also, the gas station. Bill then hid behind the Bill then proceeded to chop Susan's head off. Blood splattered. Finally, they touched it in the room. It felt like he was being watched. I wonder what's going to happen.
Bill then he was down his head. Bill laughed so hard it was strong. Bill then proceeded to cut Dipper's stomach open. Oh my God! That's really violent.
Bill laughed a demonic laugh. And Bill then proceeded to gut Dipper. Dipper died instantly. Bill laughed a demonic laugh yet again. In fact, Bill has laughed a demonic laugh 5 times in this one paragraph. Bill then disappeared. Then the episode. I could do it any fast. I was screaming so hard. I hated your cycle forever. I took this rules in my file. So if you ever find a disc the old cycler's revenge, please do not find it. I think someone is watching me splat. So the author was killed by Bill and the process of wrecking this. Here's the demonic laugh yet again. How bright is my laugh? I hear the dangerous numbers. Yeah, look how smart it's monsters. Disney's cards. Well, that's a promising. Let's see what they have in store. I will fucking you at them.
I used to be a bully. You abuse everyone. Threatening others. That's what you do. I don't know it. Let's talk about that. How did you bring it up? I didn't trip to another dimension, but there's that going to tell us about it. That sounds bad.
It was Saturday, and I was grounded for skipping class yesterday. Not that I care much. So, as long as it's not what you're about to do, I'm going to for about it. It's very
I swear I didn't do drugs. If you got keep lying, then I would have to get drugs, she said, as she dragged me to the detention. She made me sit and look at the disc with the title Hard Eggs. It says you do not a terrible monster, she said, as she inserted the disc into this color elephant.
It was a long road. Yes, perfect dark road. But when the lamps washed the eye, sweeping and black, followed by a disturbing sound. Disturbing sound like the sound of a walking on the first page. A library page. And they went back, but the leg was covered in blood. What? This was shocking. They had never shed blood in a Pixar Disney movie as far as I was concerned. Must have been trying to scare you off. Yes, I'm sure it was. After that, the single will turned on one. But when this dance went, it appeared on the edge of the ring, throwing rocks at me, which didn't do much damage.
What went next? Tuesday, being older, went through it like a steamboat. Exploding it. And so many pieces flying winds everywhere. This was a bad time. Why you would never attend bird fun?
Running through the crocodile, but the crocodile managed to catch them and began eating him limb by limb, while blood and orchids sprouted everywhere. This made me really sick. I wanted to get out of there, but the door was locked, so the only thing I could do was watch this monstrosity. Or, turn off the TV maybe, or face the other way, and I could something. After that, we see next one, using and he's thrown into the plate, where his body is ripped in half after hitting a sharp bomb. And he's out there, flying back with a syndrome predators. He was trying to get out of the turbine, he was being sucked in. But unfortunately, he gets sucked in the predator business. He would change the concept of my gun, but further into a dark boy and falls in the fire. While his skin gets burned, just as a door like that.
How did my teacher have access to it? Did she read it? Did she walk it on the back of it? It's essentially the finale of Tarzan. Tarzan was falling, screaming to get rid of the bodies, instead of guiding home. The pressure of the body was complicated. Tarzan approached the floor, ripped out his heart, ate it, and began beating his own chest, and his boobs.
And the line came, gouging, surrounded by the hammer holes, and then he got each house fire. Uncensored, and I could see how they ripped my heart limb by limb, piece by piece. And the only thing went back to me was, oh, God, I want to end this suffering already.
Even suddenly sees my Fernando from Monkey State falling, and when he hit the ground, all dust splattered everywhere. She's like a different girl's hips breaking all along legs. I tried to turn this off, but it wouldn't sit down. It's like a team situation. This wasn't a team.
After an hour, the moon looked down in the place. I went into the TV and tried to throw it into the window. Then all of a sudden, Alfie's opened his Alfie's opened the door and walked in, clapping her hands sarcastically. Lord Jones. I hope you want to listen, she said. She then began explaining the first and her own heritage of several as a hunch. Well, what can I say? Well, remember, I never act like a bad person, or else you might get mental the rest of your life. What can you say? You heard Susan. All the dinosaurs out there. Don't be a bad person, or you might have to watch a weird movie the first. Only 67 people in the last 120 years. Almost nothing. Because I just want to left alone. Number 6 Well, let's get started and find out.
This thing could be considered mass murder if the intent to do the story that I am charging. You will discuss it.
That was a simple solution. Like, there's one thing that I can do with my mind. It has to be the one. So,
I tried to watch it, so long as you need to listen to it. Also, news that was surprised new episode was aired.
The episode starts with a normal intro, but midway through, when they just sang "Come from Another Warrior," the abruptly cut off by sound of loud screaming, and a short second audio of a real life mass homicide. The intro ended as I felt uncomfortable. I wasn't going to give it a chance after watching the intro, but I just remembered that it started a new episode, and it seemed that maybe this was some type of Halloween special. But I thought the episode read it's Star and the Forces of Mass Genocide. Oh, right, yeah, because Star vs. the Forces of Evil is a show that talks about mass genocide and has real-life sounds of homicides. Sure, that's not just at all. The meat and potatoes of the episode began with Star Butterfly, looking at the camera, as though she was breaking the book. But she said nothing. In fact, she was emotionless.
She nodded about something, but I could not hear any form of sentence. It didn't have that outside women voices, still didn't sound. I always had to stop.
Martha, her voice, was probably not too much in her, but Star immediately flipped out as if she was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Martha starts to form a sentence that was taking no more than 3.5 minutes. You were watching Martha say nothing for 3.5 minutes. More veterans than I am. I've never seen pictures Star and Martha walking or having conversations that it seemed like the same walking cycle over and over and over, and the same backdrop of the school hallways, the whole crappy Hanna-Barbera costume where backdrop of the cycle was walking or running sequences. Why do they make their sentences so long? In this conversation, Martha asked Star Butterfly if she was okay after last night. I got scared when Star replied her problem.
Steam mountain usually say that Earth is perfect, but it's truth be told, it is not. We live in a world of wildfires, homicide, bombing, war, mass shootings,
Terrorism, tsunamis, suicide, necrophilia, crime, bestiality, and great freemasons. Think about it, Martha. This earth is a big force of pain. For anyone, a mass organic study in India.
Whoa, it hurts. And this wasn't bleeped out either.
This never happened in the series before. That thing about government conspiracies in a kid's cartoon show? Listen, I was sorry. As soon as I was about to turn off the TV, I saw a nuclear explosion drawn more realistically than everything else in the series. The citizens, the school children, Marco, the queen, everyone else seemed in pure terror. We believe those tonight. What's how
I did not take any more of this. I was afraid as to what might happen next. He was walking back to Martha's place of life with no sound from it, except for 3/3 by Lynn Skinner. But that said, that first song sounded a little muffled as if it was some kind of last-minute audio. After her walk, which went on for 3.5 minutes, why does everything in creepypastas go on for 3.5 minutes? Is it some sort of magic demonic number? The episode abruptly ended. Like, the episode ended just by cutting to black abruptly, jumping to the end title. I tried to go to sleep. I couldn't even study the finals. I was baffled and mortified from this episode. I wanted to type out how this happened, but why this episode suddenly aired once. But now it's